In 1908, a young journalist sat across from Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in the history of the world. Carnegie leaned forward and said something that would change everything. He told that journalist that the secret to wealth, the formula that had made him a billionaire, could be taught to any person willing to learn it. And he asked that journalist to spend the next 20 years of his life interviewing the most successful people in America to prove it. That journalist said yes. His name was Napoleon Hill, and the book he wrote as a result of those 20 years of research, interviewing over 500 of the most successful men and women of his era, including Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and John D. Rockefeller, became one of the best-selling books in human history. It is called Think and Grow Rich. Published in 1937, this book has sold over 100 million copies. Countless millionaires, business leaders, athletes, and entrepreneurs cite it as the single most important book they have ever read. And today, I am going to give you the complete summary, every major principle, so you can start applying these ideas to your own life right now. Welcome to Money Mastery Books. Let's get into it. Principle 1. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Napoleon Hill opens this book with a statement that might sound too simple to be true. He says, "Everything begins with desire." Not a wish, not a hope, not a vague dream, but a burning, consuming, obsessive desire. The kind that keeps you awake at night and pulls you out of bed in the morning before the alarm goes off. Hill tells the story of Edwin Barnes, a young man with almost nothing. No money, no connections, no experience. He wanted to become the business partner of Thomas Edison, the most famous inventor in the world. Everyone told him it was impossible. But Barnes did not want to work for Edison. He wanted to work with Edison. There is a difference, and Hill says that difference lived in the intensity of his desire. Barnes showed up at Edison's lab with nothing but that desire. Edison gave him a minor job. Barnes spent years waiting for his opportunity. And when Edison invented a machine called the Ediphone and his sales team could not sell it, Barnes stepped forward and said, "I can sell this." He did. Barnes became Edison's exclusive partner for that product and made a fortune. Hill's first lesson is this: success starts with a definite, burning desire for a specific thing. Not a general wish to be rich, a specific, concrete goal with a specific number and a specific deadline. Write it down. Read it twice a day. Make it real in your mind before it becomes real in your life. Principle 2. Faith. Believe it before you see it. The second principle is faith, and Hill is not just talking about religious faith. He is talking about something very specific, the unshakable belief that what you want is already on its way to you. Here is why this matters. Hill argues that your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between something that has actually happened and something you have vividly imagined. Whatever you repeatedly tell your mind, with enough emotion and repetition, your mind begins to believe. And what your mind believes, it begins to act on. This is why two people with identical intelligence, identical resources, and identical opportunities can produce completely different results. One believes success is coming, the other does not. Their actions, even their smallest daily choices, are shaped by that belief. Henry Ford believed he could build a V8 engine when every engineer on his team said it was impossible. He told them to keep working until they figured it out. Months passed. More months passed. His engineers kept coming back to say it could not be done. Ford's response was always the same: produce it. They produced it. Hill's lesson: Faith is a state of mind that you can create deliberately. You do it through repetition, through affirmations, through writing your goals and reading them aloud with emotion. You feed your mind the belief until your mind accepts it as fact, and then it starts working to make it true. Principle 3. Specialized knowledge. What you know matters less than you think. Here is one of the most counterintuitive ideas in this entire book. Napoleon Hill says, general knowledge is nearly useless. Think about it. Universities are filled with professors who know an extraordinary amount about an enormous range of topics, and most of them are not wealthy. General knowledge does not create wealth. What creates wealth is specialized knowledge, deep expertise in a specific field, combined with knowing how to apply that knowledge in ways that serve others. Hill tells the story of Henry Ford, who was once sued and called an ignorant pacifist in court. To humiliate him, the opposing lawyers asked him a series of general knowledge questions: dates, facts, historical trivia. Ford answered most of them by saying, "I do not know, but I have a row of electric buttons on my desk. If I need to know something, I push a button and the right person comes to tell me. I keep around me people who know the things I do not know. Why would I clutter my mind with general knowledge when I have access to all the knowledge I need?" The lesson is not that education is useless. The lesson is that knowing who to ask and knowing how to apply knowledge is far more valuable than simply knowing a lot of facts. Find your niche. Develop deep expertise in one specific area, and then build a team or a network around you that fills in the gaps. Principle 4. Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Hill calls imagination the workshop of the mind. Every invention, every business, every fortune ever built started as an idea in someone's imagination before it became real in the world. He describes two types of imagination. Synthetic imagination takes existing ideas and combines them in new ways. This is how most everyday problem-solving works. Creative imagination is something deeper. It is the ability to receive brand new ideas that seem to come from nowhere. Hill says that creative imagination becomes more active the more you use it, like a muscle. The more you sit with a problem, the more ideas begin to surface. Here's the practical lesson. When you have a clear desire, a specific goal, and you spend time every day visualizing it in detail, picturing what it looks, feels, and sounds like when you have achieved it, you are actively exercising your creative imagination. And over time, it starts delivering you ideas, connections, and opportunities that move you toward that goal. This is not mysticism. Hill is describing what modern neuroscience confirms. The brain is a pattern recognition machine. What you focus on, it begins to find. What you imagine clearly and consistently, it begins to solve for. Principle 5. Organized planning, turning desire into action. Desire without a plan is just daydreaming. Hill's fifth principle is organized planning, the step where you translate your burning desire into a concrete, written, actionable plan. He says that no individual has enough knowledge, connections, or resources to achieve great success alone. Every great achievement requires a team, people who bring complementary skills, relationships, and ideas. Hill gives a specific formula. He says, decide exactly what you intend to give in return for the wealth or success you desire, because nothing of value comes without something of value given in return. Then, form an alliance with people who can help. Set a definite date and create a written plan that you begin to act on immediately, whether you are ready or not. That last part is crucial, whether you are ready or not. Most people wait until they feel ready, until they have more experience, more money, more confidence. Hill says that is backwards. You do not get ready and then start. You start and then you get ready. A plan does not need to be perfect. It needs to exist, and it needs to begin. Principle 6. Decision, the enemy of procrastination. Hill studied 500 of the most successful people in America, and he found something fascinating. Every single one of them had the habit of making decisions quickly and changing them slowly. The average person does the exact opposite. They take a long time to decide, and then they change their mind quickly the moment someone questions them. Hill says that procrastination, the habit of putting off decisions, is the single greatest enemy of success, because every opportunity in life has a shelf life. If you wait too long to decide, the opportunity moves on to someone who decided faster. He also makes a point about opinions. Most people fail to make decisions because they are afraid of what others will think. They share their plans before they are ready, invite criticism, and then abandon their goals under the weight of doubt. Hill's advice is simple and direct. Tell no one about your plans until they are complete. Keep your own counsel. Make your decision. Commit to it. Act on it. And do not invite the doubt of others into your mind before the work is done. The world respects people who decide. Opportunity follows decisiveness. Principle 7. Persistence, the sustained effort that unlocks everything. If there is one principle in this book that separates the people who achieve great success from everyone else, it is this one: persistence. Hill says that persistence is to the human character what carbon is to steel. It is the ingredient that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. He tells the story of R.U. Darby, whose uncle struck gold in the Colorado Gold Rush, started mining, and then, when the vein of gold ran dry, gave up and sold his equipment to a junkman for a few $100s. That junkman hired a mining engineer who looked at the situation and determined that the vein had simply shifted. He drilled just 3 feet from where Darby's uncle had stopped. 3 feet. The junkman found the gold. Darby's uncle had stopped 3 feet from a fortune. Hill says that most people quit just before success arrives. The universe, in a sense, tests you, puts obstacles in your path, not to stop you, but to see how serious you are. Persistence is not stubbornness. It is the combination of a clear desire, a written plan, and the refusal to quit, even when the results are not yet visible, especially when they are not yet visible. Build the habit of finishing what you start. Every time you persist through resistance, you become stronger. Every time you quit, quitting becomes easier. Principle 8. The mastermind, the power of the right people. Napoleon Hill introduces a concept he calls the mastermind, and it is one of the most powerful ideas in this book. He defines the mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort between 2 or more people who work toward a definite purpose in a spirit of harmony. Here is why this matters. When 2 minds come together in true harmony, genuinely aligned on a goal, genuinely supportive of each other, they do not just combine their knowledge. They create something Hill calls a third mind, a level of thinking, creativity, and problem-solving that neither person could access alone. Andrew Carnegie's entire fortune was built on this principle. He himself said he knew very little about the steel business, but he surrounded himself with 25 people who collectively knew everything. And together, they built the most successful steel empire in American history. Look at the people around you right now. Are they pushing you forward? Are they aligned with your goals? Are they expanding what you believe is possible? You do not need dozens of people. Hill says even two people who are truly aligned and supportive can create a mastermind powerful enough to change everything. Choose your inner circle carefully. It is the most important business decision you will ever make. Principle 9. The subconscious mind, your 24-hour partner. Your conscious mind works for about 16 hours a day. It rests when you sleep. Your subconscious mind never rests. Hill says the subconscious mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it, thoughts, images, emotions, beliefs, it will grow. It does not judge. It does not discriminate between a useful thought and a harmful one. It simply grows what it is given. This is why Hill places so much emphasis on what you think about all day long. If you constantly think about failure, about debt, about what you do not have, your subconscious mind works to produce more of exactly that. If you think about your goal, your plan, your vision, it works, even while you sleep, to find paths toward it. The practical tool Hill gives you is this. Every morning and every evening, read your written goal aloud, with emotion. Visualize it clearly. Feel the emotions of having already achieved it. Do this consistently, for months, and you are planting seeds in the most powerful creative tool you have, your own subconscious mind. This is not magic, it is habit. The habit of deliberately directing your deepest thinking toward what you actually want. Principle 10. The 6 ghosts of fear, the invisible forces holding you back. The final major principle in this book is the one that most people never talk about, because it is the most uncomfortable. Hill says that there are 6 basic fears that prevent the vast majority of people from ever reaching their potential. The fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. Of these, Hill says the 2 most destructive are the fear of poverty and the fear of criticism. The fear of poverty makes people accept less than they deserve. They stay in jobs they hate, relationships they have outgrown, and circumstances they could change, because change feels dangerous, and the devil you know feels safer than the devil you do not. The fear of criticism is perhaps even more powerful. It is the fear of what other people will think, say, or do if you try something bold and fail. This fear kills more dreams than any external obstacle ever has. Hill says these fears are not real threats. They are ghosts, products of the mind with no physical power over you. The only power they have is the power you give them by believing in them. The antidote to fear, Hill says, is action. Every time you act despite fear, the fear shrinks. Every time you avoid action because of fear, the fear grows. Do the thing you fear. The fear will disappear. The secret. You may have noticed, I have not told you the secret. That is because Napoleon Hill does something deliberate in this book. He mentions the secret 30 times, but never states it directly. He says that stating it plainly would rob it of its power, and that each person must discover it for themselves. But after reading everything Hill wrote and everything the 500 people he interviewed said, I can tell you what I believe the secret is. It is this: whatever you can hold clearly in your mind, believe with your whole heart, plan with concrete steps, and pursue with relentless persistence, you can achieve. Not because of magic, not because the universe rewards positive thinking, but because a mind with a clear goal, a strong belief, and a refusal to quit will find a way. It will notice opportunities that others walk past. It will make decisions that others hesitate over. It will build the relationships, develop the skills, and take the steps that others avoid. The secret is not a formula. It is a way of being. Let me bring everything together. Napoleon Hill spent 20 years studying the most successful people in the world, and his conclusion was both simple and demanding. Success begins in the mind, with a burning desire for something specific. That desire must be backed by unshakable faith, powered by imagination, turned into a written plan, acted on with decision, sustained with persistence, amplified by the right people, and protected from the 6 ghosts of fear. None of this is easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But the principles are simple. And they work, not just for the people Hill studied in 1937, but for every person who has applied them since. The question Hill leaves you with is not, can this work? The question is, how badly do you want it? And only you can answer that. That was the complete summary of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, one of the most powerful books ever written about the connection between your mind and your wealth. If this summary gave you something valuable today, a new idea, a different perspective, something that made you think, then share it with someone who needs to hear it. Here on Money Mastery Books, we break down the world's greatest financial and personal development books into complete, clear audio summaries, so you can get the insight in the time it takes to go for a walk. If you are new here, welcome. Hit subscribe so you never miss a new summary. We release one every week. And if you enjoyed this one, you might want to check out our summary of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It is our most watched video, and the ideas connect beautifully with what you just heard. Until next time, keep thinking, keep building, and remember, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This is Money Mastery Books. We will see you in the next one.